To help support this podcast
and get exclusive bonus content and rewards,
make a monthly pledge at
patreon.com/universebox. And remember to think outside.
Tonight on Universe Box,
The Power Rangers stage their return. Doctor Who introduces the class. And the Fraggles get remastered.
This is Universe Box. I'm Bill Meeks.
Do you not know who you are?
And who are you?
I don't know who I am. I'm Anne-Marie DeSimone, and this is Universe Box for October 11th, 2016.
Now, we would like to apologize to you. We weren't available for a episode Thursday, and we kind of warned you about this.
We did. We let you know because we live in Orlando.
And there was Hurricane Matthew.
Hurricane Matthew blew through, and we just wanted to be safe because it wasn't supposed to get too bad until after we'd have recorded, but stress levels were high, and we couldn't think of funny stories.
It did not blow us away, though, and it did not blow our lovely chat room away over at live.universebox.com. No, it didn't. And we have Bobby and Penfold and Tensor Guy and Win over there and Angel.
It's a party going on.
And all the rest. And as always, we're recording Tuesday night, 10 p.m. EST. We also record Thursday night, usually, if there's not a hurricane.
No hurricanes.
Except for next week. Why is that, Anne-Marie?
Next week's going to be different. Next week, we are not recording on Tuesday, but we are going to record on Monday and Thursday because we're going to a concert.
Yeah, we're going to go see Postmodern Jukebox, which I would imagine next Thursday's episode we'll probably talk about.
Probably a little bit.
So we're going to be recording Monday at 9 p.m. EST.
Maybe 9:15, 9:30.
Yeah, maybe like 9:15.
Yeah, because we're gonna live tweet Gotham and then record.
Yeah, so stay tuned for schedule changes. That's probably what it's gonna be. But it's cool. Some things happen sometimes, but we're not gonna leave you without an episode. Don't worry.
Nope.
Okay, Anne-Marie, you had something you wanted to talk about before we get started, right?
Yes, you may have noticed over on the social medias a thing called Universe Box, the survey. Well, we realized we've never formally asked any of our listeners and readers what they like, what they don't like, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. So we made a survey. So if you go to bit.ly/UB survey, there are 10 very quick and easy questions for you to answer. We've already gotten a great response, but we're going to leave it open for about another week, and then we're going to, take the responses and implement some changes and stuff.
And we've already got some really good feedback. For one, some people, they like that we do the Patreon, but they don't like signing up for an automatic monthly payment.
I understand.
So they asked if we could put a PayPal button on all of our websites so you could just do a one-time donation. So we've done that. So if you have any cool ideas for us, go throw them over in the survey. It's bit.ly/UB survey. Okay, Anne-Marie, you ready?
I'm ready.
It's time to get into some news here. We're looking into the world of television and serialized streaming storytelling in Televisionary.
All right, this week we have a little bit more Doctor Who news. I know
a lot of it.
Okay, a lot of it of Doctor Who news. So a double dose of Doctor Who news came out of New York Comic-Con this past week. A peek into the upcoming Christmas special and a first look at the spin-off series Class. Without Peter Capaldi being the common thread, I'm not sure I would have known that these two were even cousins. So, first, the return of Dr. Mysterio is the Doctor Who Christmas special. And we got a little video. It's mostly like some behind-the-scenes stuff, but you get a little bit of an idea of the tone of the Christmas special. And it looks like it's going to be so much fun, which is what I love about Christmas specials. The U.S. should do that, like the U.K. does. But there are a lot of dark and seriousness in the Whoniverse. Whoniverse over the past few years, and I think it'll be a nice breath of fresh air to have just a fun Christmas episode, especially since it's been about a year since we've had a new Doctor Who episode.
But Anne-Marie, you're leaving the headline on the floor here.
What's the headline on the floor?
The main antagonist, companion, etc., is going to be a superhero.
We talked about that already.
No, we didn't.
We talked about the superhero.
We didn't talk about it in this episode, though.
Okay, go ahead.
I just, I wanted to point out, and we might have pointed this out last time, too, but Dr. Mysterio is the superhero's name, and that's what Doctor Who is called in Mexico.
Oh.
I have Dr. Mysterio graphics here, and we'll have links to these stories and these resources I've pulled up about Dr. Mysterio at universebox.com in the show notes for this episode.
That's a very sassy graphic you've got there.
It is, definitely.
Let's make that graphic go away now. Thank you.
Okay, but my one concern about this is that outside of the occasional Dalek invasion, the modern day Earth on the show is generally equivalent to our Earth. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing this means the special is going to be set in the future or on another planet. That being said, I'm super pumped. The character is said to be based on Moffat's love of Superman. I love Superman. So, of course, I'm on board. The Doctor is a bit of a superhero in his own right, so it'll be interesting to see those methodologies clash.
Interesting.
And over in the chat room, Wynn says she's about 3 seasons behind on Doctor Who.
As is Bobby.
Sorry about that, guys.
It happens.
It's
Sorry.
good, though.
We like it.
Check out Capaldi.
Okay, so this...
Yeah, go ahead.
The spin-off series Class looks to be absolutely amazing. While Doctor Who has a very classic style, like it's been pretty consistent throughout, Class feels like it's a more modern interpretation of the Whoniverse. Mm-hmm. It's darker, it's edgier, it has those modern twists and turns, and I think it's going to give me the good type of nightmares.
Definitely. It does look very interesting. It's done. I forget the gentleman's name, but he's a young adult book author, and you could definitely feel that.
You get that for sure.
Oh, for sure. And
sure.
Yeah, it definitely looks interesting. Obviously, the Doctor is in the trailer. You see that he's going to be in the first episode. It looks like, and it seems like he's probably there to just get the show off the ground. Mm-hmm. I wonder though why they changed the name from Coal Hill School to Coal Hill Academy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're trying to feed into that whole Monster High Academy thing that is so prevalent in media for the youths today. Mm. But the school has a lot of connections to the Doctor's history. His first adventure in Unearthly Child was there, actually. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see how this new threat is connected to the Doctor and why he needs to be there to kind of get these kids off and running.
Yeah.
It looks interesting. I'm not promising I'm going to stay with the series the whole way through, but I'm at least going to check out the first couple episodes.
Oh, absolutely. You got to see what it's about.
Yeah, over in the chat, a lot of people are saying, they're not caught up on Doctor Who. Monica says more like 5 seasons behind here. Wynn says I don't have cable, so I can't keep up with most shows. And Bobby says he watched the first few episodes with Capaldi. And Angel theorizes that maybe it's Academy because it sounds fancier, maybe.
I don't know.
Academy does sound fancier, though. She does have a point.
It does sound fancier. But I'm thinking maybe it's to separate from the Coal Hill School that we saw on Doctor Who.
Well, I think this is going to be the same.
A different school.
I am. Penfold says Patrick Ness is the author. Thank you very much. But it says in the teaser here, Doctor says I was the curator at your school at one time, and that was from a Clara episode.
Yes.
When Clara worked at Coal Hill School.
We don't talk about her.
Okay, we have another story here.
We have other stories.
Let's whip over the rainbow to talk about it. What is it?
The show Emerald City has been tossed around for over 2 years now, and it's finally premiering the first week of January. Drawing heavy inspiration from characters in the books that audiences may not be familiar with is just one of the ways that Emerald City looks to set itself apart. The whole first season is directed by one man. It shoots in Europe. The costume designer worked on Star Wars, and it's heavily influenced by the books and will feature obscure characters. You rewrote my words.
No, I just added the content of the story.
Okay. So we ourselves have been talking about the show since it was first started to be rumored.
Yeah, this was a big story on Greetings a lot.
Yeah, because it was, similar vein. We're finally getting information, and it's really exciting. I love that it's looking to be pretty liberal and diverse casting with the telling of the Wizard of Oz tale, with the non-traditional, the exotic locations, consistent director, everything that I already said. So it's just pretty unique because you normally on TV shows get different directors for different episodes.
Yeah, and that's very interesting. Another show that's kind of approached it this way over the past for this past season was Mr. Robot. They gave the guy who was like the showrunner, the main writer and everything. They let him direct all the episodes, and it really made it feel very cohesive. There were a couple times where I was like, maybe the executives should have told him,
no,
maybe no, but they didn't. And I mean, they won an Emmy, so I mean, he must be doing something right. I'm excited about this because the Oz series has such rich mythology that it'll be nice to see that get explored in something other than Wicked, because Wicked was pretty good about it, about getting all the little incidental characters and everything. And now, while we get a lot of details about how this show's going to go down, I wonder what the tone's going to be.
Yeah,
I'm hoping for something akin to I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Return to Oz, the movie with Fairuza Balk. From the 80s.
I'm pretty sure we've watched it.
Yeah, it was creepy, dark, mysterious. I feel, like we're lacking details about what the actual story of the show is going to be, though. Is Dorothy going to be involved?
Yes.
Is she?
She's Hispanic.
Oh, cool. Very cool. So it's good to hear she'll be involved. I wonder if it's going to be stepping through all the original stories of the original Frank L. Baum book or L. Frank Baum book.
Well, it does mention that it's going to pull a lot of characters that you don't usually see, so it's going to be telling stories that people don't completely know.
That's good. Well, I mean, a lot of people, they know Off to See the Wizard.
Right. That's what everybody knows. Hold on. Let me find where it said it. Let's see. It over-scrolled. Diverse cast. Emerald City is a pretty diverse cast. Dorothy's Hispanic. Black Wicked Witch. Cast members from all. It keeps changing things. All ethnicities are auditioning for everything. The book material. Those who read the L. Frank Baum books that inspired the original movie will be pleased to find even more material from the series in the TV show. Characters who didn't make the cut in other versions like Tip and Princess Langwider will appear on TV. So there's that.
Over in the chat room, Bobby says, I was really into the Oz books when I was a kid. Tensor Guy says, TikTok? Maybe TikTok.
Maybe TikTok.
Jack Pumpkinhead, maybe. Angel asked if they'll add characters like Ozma. Hopefully.
That'd be cool.
And interesting, weird show. But now it's time to dance your cares away. Worries for another day. Let the music play. Down on HBO. Okay, what's your story, Emery?
So by the end of 2016, audiences will be sent back to the 80s with digitally remastered episodes of Fraggle Rock coming back to HBO. The 96-episode series dealing with friendship and tolerance, all told by puppets, has received many awards over the years.
So what are your thoughts here?
Yay, Fraggles! However, I was never really a super crazy fan like most people our age are, but I liked him. However, this is basically feels like Disney bringing things back from the vault, and not terribly exciting. They just cleaned them up a little. So
yeah,
Fraggles.
Yeah, my reaction was kind of the same. I was all excited at first when I saw Fraggle Rock is coming back,
right?
But then I saw it was the remasters. Still, maybe HBO is using this as a sort of a gauge to gauge interest for a reboot down the road. Now, I met a few of the original puppeteers from Fraggle Rock a couple of years ago, and they're probably too old to be doing a full-time puppeteering show, but I'm sure they could find sound-alikes pretty easily, or maybe have them do the voices and have someone else puppeteer it or something. Yeah. But, with Sesame Street and Fraggles on HBO, I'm hoping we get dinosaurs at some point. Now, my question for you, Anne-Marie, and for you guys in the chat room, who was your favorite Fraggle?
Red?
Red? You liked Red?
That's literally the only one I can remember the name for.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
So probably. She's crazy. She had pigtails.
As for me, I'd have to say my favorite Fraggle was Uncle Traveling Matt.
Of course it was Uncle Traveling Matt.
Who would write letters to his nephew Gobo, or was it Gobo or Gobi? Gobo. Basically the main character. But about his adventures in outer space, which was our world. So I always loved Uncle Traveling Matt. Over in the chat room, let's see.
Mobley.
What's Mobley or Wembley? Yeah. Monica Squeeze. She loves her some Fraggle Rock. Bobby says if enough get watched, maybe they'll make new ones. Angel says she's showing her age, but by admitting that she only vaguely knows what Fraggle Rock is. Bobby's favorite is Wembley. Monica's is Moki and Wembley. And Monica's is also Gobo. She has a lot of favorites. And Bobby says, or Uncle Matt. Uncle Traveling Matt. Gotta love Uncle Traveling Matt. It's
Gobo. You've been corrected.
It is Gobo.
Or confirmed.
Yes, excellent. Awesome. Okay.
Bill was right. Wow.
Well, you know what happens when I'm right. It's time to grab some popcorn and find your seat. We're opening up the curtain on Cinematters.
Okay, now it's time for the Power Rangers teaser trailer. Woo!
Yes.
And what looks to be the retelling of the Breakfast Club quickly moves into an action-packed story of how the Power Rangers came to be. This is not the corny kids show that premiered in the early 90s that you may be used to.
This is a serious take.
It is definitely a more serious take, and it looks really good. So I had no desire to see this movie until the trailer came out. Like none, zip, zero. The Power Rangers are still making the rounds at the cons. I don't care. But I was raised as a Power Ranger franchise, and my kids quickly, thanks to Netflix, became lovers of it too. This looks like a smarter story without all the cheeseball elements. Oh, and Elizabeth Banks as Rita Repulsa makes me absolutely giddy.
Yes, very surprising to me too the way she acted, because I've never really pictured her as like a villain, and yeah, I mean she's had villainous roles, but they're usually somewhat comedic in nature, just because she's a very funny lady.
Yes, she is.
So it was very weird to see her just like, you know,
but that makes it almost evilly. Better.
Yeah, because contrast, you know, you didn't like Power Rangers as a kid.
No, I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
okay.
I was like the only person in 4th grade who watched it the year it premiered, and everybody made fun of it, and I had to hide my love of Power Rangers.
Nice. Well, you haven't liked it recently.
No, that's because it was overkill.
Yeah. Okay, but you know, the trailer definitely way more moody than even I anticipated. It feels very much like, I don't know if you've seen the movie Chronicle from a few years back, where it's basically like a found footage movie where a bunch of kids get superpowers and then one of them becomes a supervillain. Spoilers. But a decent movie. I find it fascinating that the Rangers have powers without morphing in this trailer. You know, they just find the coins, and then it looks like a bully, maybe like Bulk or Skull, tries to headbutt one of them, and they fall down because they're invulnerable or whatever. Maybe that's why the word morph isn't in the name, because they don't need to morph to have their powers like they did in the original series.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was one section of the franchise. There have been many, there's like 20 different reiterations of the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So they each have like a different like vein. So this is like a general Power Rangers.
Yeah.
For all we know, we may get Mighty Morphin in 3 years or something.
Well, I mean, I think the basic premise and the basic setup, they've changed maybe a couple characters' names, but it's basically the premise from the first season of the American TV show. But Rita Repulsa's appearance definitely in the trailer speaks to a history in this world with the Power Rangers, because she says that she's killed Rangers before, which is a lot of fun, because Power Rangers, you know, I mean, the opening titles was "After 10,000 years, I'm free. Time to conquer Earth." So obviously there was a big history there,
right?
With Rita and Zordon and everything. I also kind of support a lot of people have been saying, based on her outfit in the movie, that she might have been the original Green Ranger, which would make a Green Ranger based sequel make a lot of sense, because if you remember in the original Green Ranger trilogy of episodes, Rita Repulsa gave the Green Ranger the power to transform and everything.
They do, actually.
So you know, it would make a lot of sense. I knew I was going to watch this movie when I heard that as a lot of people are saying in the chat room, Bryan Cranston signed on as Zordon, but now I'm really excited about it because it actually looks really, really good. Anything else from the chat room, Anne-Marie?
Some people were too old for it at the time. Probably going to go back and look at it. Thought it was more of a ripoff of Voltron. I'm not familiar with the Voltron.
It's a little Voltron-y.
Is it? Oh,
with the giant robots and fighting and whatnot.
Yeah. So, but everything has a ripoff, and you know that's how it goes these days.
Definitely. Anything else here? Let's see.
Needing to watch versions on Netflix.
All that kind of stuff. Okay, so next up, a movie you're very excited about.
Yes. Fantastic Beasts has released their final trailer before premiering in November. So we all know about the wizarding world surrounding Harry Potter, but Fantastic Beasts takes it across the pond to America. Muggles are known as no magic, and seem to know...
that seems kind of lazy.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it has a nice moment in the trailer. Because there's confusion because they didn't know they called them different things. And seem to know that there are magically inclined people surrounding them, which is something you don't really get in the Harry Potter world. So basically with every preview I see of this movie, I get more and more excited. It's very much in the style of Harry Potter. Like everything looks the same, but not. It's nice to have this completely unknown cast of characters Like, you get no bleed, no character bleed, nobody's crossing paths here, to the best of my knowledge. I haven't, scoured the internet that far.
Yeah.
But it looks really fun. The question I keep getting from my son is, so does this take place before Harry Potter or after Harry Potter? I'm like, I don't know. I think it's before, actually, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it
feels before.
I think it's set in the 30s, maybe.
It might, but
I've heard tell that there might be a Dumbledore appearance in it, but like a younger Dumbledore. But that's about the only like solid connection between the two, from what I've heard. But I haven't heard a whole lot.
Right.
Now I appreciate as far as this movie, that it isn't just about the American wizarding school, because Harry Potter popularized, and I talked about it a little bit earlier too, the whole Monster High, Gotham Academy style of story. And in my mind, that whole concept, a school of a bunch of, people or characters as a setting, is just kind of played out at this point. They've done it so much with so many series that I just want to see something new. And this definitely looks like a whole new angle on wizardry. Plus, it's a period piece set in New York, which I love.
Yes.
And it also doesn't look like they'll have Quidditch in it, which is a total plus.
The chat room is saying it's probably like the 20s or 30s, so I'll go with that.
Yeah, that's what I had heard. Anyway.
I mean, looking at it, it has that feel, but again, it's a whole different world. For all we know, it could just be, it just looked that way.
Yeah.
Sort of like how on Gotham we have no idea what year it is.
Yeah, and by the way, if it feels like any of these sections are going a little long tonight, it's because there was New York Comic Con this weekend where a lot of news comes out. But we have one more story here for you. What is it, Anne-Marie?
Shatner gets Two-Faced. So Batman 66 is jumping on the sequel bandwagon with Batman versus Two-Face coming in 2017. William Shatner will take on the iconic role of Two-Face alongside Adam West, Burt Ward, and Julie Newmar.
And he looks great. He looks absolutely... I'm going to zoom in here so people online can see it. But yeah,
Shatner.
It looks absolutely awesome. And it's amazing that they've announced a sequel before this movie has even come out, right?
No,
The Return of the Caped Crusader. I think it premiered in theaters. Yesterday. So...
well, I think they just wanted to build it all together.
But what are your thoughts on this?
Oh, Shatner. So I think it'll be a fun movie to see, but I really don't have strong feelings either way, because it just seems a little odd to just now be getting sequels to Batman 66. I think I might have misunderstood something.
Oh, you thought this was talking about the movie coming out?
I don't really know.
Yeah, well, they're doing the feature-length animated movie Return of the Caped Crusaders, which is set in the continuity of the Batman 66 show.
Okay, and then this is the one for after that.
Yeah, and this is the one for after that.
Yeah, I completely, again, I don't speak this world.
Okay.
But it looks really cool.
Yeah, I think it looks really, really cool too. And I'll have a link to the show notes with some more information on this. But trivia, a Two-Face episode of the Batman 66 show was written, and it was supposed to star Clint Eastwood as Two-Face, but it never got off the ground. Coincidentally, it was written by Harlan Ellison, the writer of the classic Star Trek episode City on the Edge of Forever. So funny how it kind of all comes full circle here.
Right.
My favorite part about this, though, is that the character design, and I'll go back to it here on the YouTube video, but the character design looks like a young William Shatner from the 60s, as if he had played the character originally in the show. So it's... I think it's really cool that they're doing it that way. I think Adam West and William Shatner... They've only had like one small acting part together. They totally make sense for them to have a ton of scenes together because they have a very similar acting style.
Yes, they do.
Now, it's definitely hard to see how excited I am for this until I see the Return of the Caped Crusaders. But I think I'm probably going to like it.
Probably, yeah.
Probably. Let's see. Over in the chat room, Bobby says, who would you cast in future sequels? I don't know.
You need to find an aging actor.
Yeah, an aging actor.
An aging actor, but not too aging of an actor.
I'm trying to think of any I would like to see some Batman 66 takes on more modern villains like a Bane, or even like more serious villains like a Scarecrow, or they did Mr. Freeze on that show. But or like a Hush, that would be kind of cool. But I guess we'll see if it warrants a third one.
Yeah.
But everything I've seen of the first one seemed pretty cool, definitely. And Bobby also wants to point out in the chat room that the Xavier School for the Gifted was before Hogwarts. Very true.
What's that?
X-Men.
Oh.
Yeah. So. Okay, so let's see here. Real quick, we just want to mention, and we're not going to spend too much time on this because I know we're already running long, but you can help support us making these podcasts on Patreon.
Yay, Patreon!
Patreon, if you didn't know, it's kind of like when you're donating to NPR, you call in every couple months and throw in $5 or something like that. Well, you can do that for us to help support the podcast we're making. And you can do that at patreon.com/universebox. And we have all sorts of different goals and rewards and things. One of our rewards, besides the $25 reward, which is appearing on the show, is to become a member of the $5 Star Patrons Club. Now, if you become a member of the $5 Star Patrons Club, not only will we read your name out on every show, but we will also send you back in time to guest star on Batman 66 as the villain of your choice. Now, the people who are going to be traveling back in time this week are Becca Baca, Angel, Kelsey, Holly Mac 79, Monica Jones, Sage of Earth, Harry Seidler, Timothy Peters, Robert Cattler, and Hope Molinac. So you guys are the dream makers.
The dream makers.
And we love each and every one of you. And
have fun in the past. Don't step on a butterfly.
We can't wait to check you out on Batman 66. We also will mention that on all of our websites, there's a PayPal button in the sidebar. If you don't feel like doing monthly, you can throw it in there too. And if you throw more than $5, you'll become a member of the $5 Star Patrons Club for a month too.
Totes.
Definitely. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/universebox.
And remember to think outside.
Okay, now throw on your headphones and warm up your pipes. We're going to make sure your modern music knowledge is in tune.
Okay, so Kanye, Jay-Z, and Frank Ocean win their lawsuit. After a 2-year battle against New York musician Joel McDonald, a.k.a. Joel Mac, Kanye, Jay-Z, and Frank Ocean have been found innocent of stealing the concept from McDonald's 2009 song Made in America. The U.S. Second Circuit Court of Appeals found that Joel Mac's claim had no plausible claim. So, there you go. Basically, if you're going to fight with the big guns, you've got to bring the big guns. Joel Mac represented himself in this case, which was not only against the musicians, but against their labels.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, now, I on another tact of not completely understanding the story, I thought that Frank Ocean was suing Kanye and Jay-Z. Which is a whole different kettle of fish.
No, it was a Jay-Z and Kanye album that Frank Ocean guested on the song. Okay, good. So you have one, I have one. Hopefully we can get through the rest of the episode.
I was just thinking, man, like I feel like Yeezy would have just given Frank Ocean the money or like asked permission or something like that.
Dude, Yeezy's bankrupt. Why do you think there was the fake jewelry stealing? Because they found a ring, like...
Yeah, we were going to talk about that on Thursday, but...
Yeah, we so were.
But, all's well that ends well. And I listened to the song, too. It was pretty cool. I liked it. So
which version did you listen to, Joel Mac's or Kanye's?
Kanye's, rather.
Oh, okay.
I watched a live performance of it.
Oh,
so it was pretty good.
Sure.
It was pretty good.
Okay,
let's see here. Over in the chat room,
there's an argument over being Poison Ivy.
Yeah, because people are deciding who they would play in Batman 66. Monica claims Catwoman. Angel wants to be Poison Ivy, and Bobby says Anne Margaret is Poison Ivy for the third animated movie. That's actually really good casting for sure. Or actually, She was quite a dish back in the day. What about Angela Lansbury? That would be amazing.
Time.
Come on, Chip. We've got to go fight Batman now. What's in the box? You're about to find out. We've each selected a special story to discuss. Let's pop open the Universe Box.
So it is the end of an era. There are many people that are mourning the end of the electrical light parade at the Magic Kingdom this week. I am not either. This parade was fun as a child, but absolute, complete torture as an adult. Heck, it frequently was a nuisance just blocking our path from ride to ride.
Yeah, when we had Disney annual passes, we would basically, if we heard
we would plan around the parade.
We would run away from parades like a zombie apocalypse was coming upon us.
Except for the dancing one. We like the dancing one. Because it played,
Well, you could also walk through that one because it just came to a stop and then hung out there for like half an hour.
Yeah, and then the kids are dancing with like Phineas and Ferb. Let's see what nuisance blocking our path from ride to ride, getting the music stuck in our head for days. It's already in my head just from talking about this article. I hope that there will be a new show or parade to replace it soon, but with better music.
Yes, definitely.
So have fun at Disneyland.
Weren't they talking about bringing over the parade from California Adventure or something?
Okay, I think they're doing like a little bit of a swap for the coasts because Electrical Light is going to have a limited engagement at Disneyland. And there's discussion, rumor, but nothing confirmed that Paint the Night is the very recently retired parade show thing at Disneyland, to have a limited engagement at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, over in the chat room, Angel T says, as someone who rarely gets to visit either Disney park, I always thought that the electrical parade was pretty.
Okay, see, and this is what I'm telling you. When I was a little, I have these amazing memories from when I was in 4th grade and I went to Disney. However, from the very second we saw it the first time coming back, it was torture. It was torture.
Well, it was always because we were trying to...
Except for the one time that we actually got stuck. We got completely separated and stuck and could not cross it. We were at the very beginning of the parade. Me and one child, or 2 children on one side, him and another on the other. We could see each other. We could almost touch. We could not escape the parade and got to see the whole thing.
That
was okay.
I think the problem was that it was always keeping us from doing something because we were trying to pack a bunch into the day.
And it's nighttime. People are getting cranky.
Okay, now as far as my universe box, it has to do with Supergirl, the Supergirl series on the CW. There is actually a Crisis on Infinite Earths reference in the new promo for the next episode. It's basically Superman holding Supergirl like she's dead. But it's from the Crisis on Infinite Earths book, which if you've never read it, very good series, and also Supergirl plays a major role in that. She basically dies in the series. I can't pull up the cover right now, unfortunately, but this is a recreation of it in the Supergirl TV show,
which you can watch.
Well, I haven't got a chance to see how they portray Superman because I haven't watched the premiere yet. This is kind of exciting to me. I don't think they'll be killing Kara off anytime soon.
It's kind of her show.
Yeah, but I do wonder if this is just an Easter egg or if it might tie into the Crisis they keep referencing on the DCW show, The Flash. Because they've referenced that on there a couple times. There's a crisis coming because that was the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Those were the 2 big things that happened in it. Flash died, Supergirl died. And these shows are intermingling so much. Seems like it would make a lot of sense to do that. So I guess we'll see. But Anne-Marie, you wanted to talk about some holidays, right?
Okay, so as always, I like to tell you what special holidays we have tomorrow. This is some really randomness this time. Okay, so tomorrow is Emergency Nurses Day, Old Farmers Day, not young farmers, just old farmers. Pet Obesity Awareness Day.
Including Old MacDonald, right?
Bring your teddy bear to work or school day. Don't tell your children. Take your parents to lunch day. And World Arthritis Day, which I feel is related to Old Farmers Day.
Nice. So take your parents
Here we go.
out to lunch. One of them happens to be Old MacDonald's. He has a little arthritis in his hand. So what you do is you buy him an obese teddy bear as a pet. And then you guys can take him to the nurse together to get him treated for the arthritis.
Mm-hmm. It'll be good. That's exactly it. Take a picture for me, would you? Maybe Instagram it.
I try to combine them. Sometimes it doesn't work out as well as it should. But you know what? I'm excited.
You're excited?
About what we're excited about this week, Anne-Marie. We're offering up our recommendations in Suggestibles.
So this week I'm going slightly left to center. So pop culture is what we talk about, and pop culture is what's popular. right now, I'm telling you, get registered to vote for the election because deadlines are, now or past.
Rock the vote.
Rock the vote. If you go to the link that we're going to have in this show notes, it's going to give you the exact dates and deadlines, links to get yourself registered.
Yeah, I know several states. Today was the deadline.
Today was. Some of them had extensions, but I just know there's a lot that actually don't cut off until like a week or two before. Some of them are a certain number of Wednesdays at noon. Like, it's really weird. But make sure you at least check your status, see if you're registered to vote, because it's ridiculous out there.
Yeah, and actually, we both registered today. Thankfully for the hurricane, it got extended by a couple days.
Right.
So we had just enough time to get that in there. So,
Yep.
Okay, and as far as my suggestible this week, it's a comic book series I've been reading. I started reading it a couple months ago, then I got caught up over the weekend, over the hurricane. And it's okay, you guys are going to think I'm weird.
Yep.
Seriously.
He's weird.
DC Comics, the Flintstones comic book. It is amazing. It is fantastic. It is maybe my favorite.
Not wanting to zoom in for you.
No, but I mean, it's maybe my favorite comic book I've read this year. It's just
pretty impressive.
Fantastic. This series is so much better than it has any right to be. It's smart. It has something to say, and it works as a satire on like 20 different levels. I mean, the original show was a little satirical, like The Simpsons, but this just takes it to a whole nother level, and it's really mature satire too. It's not like goofy gag jokes and celebrity parodies and stuff like that. It's like talking about the human condition. Seriously, if you're thinking this book isn't for you, you are wrong. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. It points, it made me a little teary-eyed. It's a serious take on cartoon characters with a few jokes thrown in. It's like I said, it's probably my favorite comic book I've read this year, and if nothing else, the way they approach the Great Gazoo, it involves. I'm just gonna say it involves spring breaking aliens. Might be my favorite, like impish character version I've ever seen, and it's just so great. And I mean, it approaches society and materialism, the concept of marriage, homosexuality, all sorts of stuff. It's just an amazing book, so much smarter than it has any right to be. So definitely check it out. Okay, so, we can't wait to hear your blathering, so let's hear what our listeners have to say in Blatherskite. They had nothing to say. We didn't. We
were off for a whole week and nobody had anything to say.
So what should the homework be this week, Anne-Marie?
The homework
for your Blatherskipes for next week.
Your Blatherskipes homework. Hold on. What are the special days for tomorrow? What's that?
Actually, you know what? If you've ever had a teddy bear,
tell us about your teddy bear.
Tell us about your teddy bear. And if you happen to pop it in the chat room right now, we'll read it right now.
We'll read it now.
Or you can email us, contact@universebox.com, tweet us at universe_box. Facebook is facebook.com/groups/universeboxshow. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. So do we have any teddy bear things here?
We don't.
We don't have any teddy bear things here.
We have no teddy bears.
Okay, well, now it's time for some takeaways where we kind of, the takeaways we got from the episode.
We fly by the seat of our pants.
Okay, first off, Power Rangers isn't just for kids anymore.
The electrical light parade is going to be...
Anne-Marie, I do the takeaways. Okay, thank you very much. Muggles, as stupid as it sounds, is actually a pretty good term when you have something to compare it to. Fraggle Rock will never die in our hearts or on HBO. And the Electrical Light Parade is dead. And good riddance.
Wow. I tried to be nice. You, however, did not.
Let's see, over in the chat room, Tensor Guy says, I had a Stretch Armstrong. Does that count?
Absolutely.
Only if you have fur. Contradictions. Anne-Marie, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at DeSimone or check out my blog, crunchycrafty.com.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Bill Meeks. You can follow all of the podcasts we do at universebox.com. And we remind you to join us here Thursday, 10 p.m. EST, for another episode of Universe Box. It's amazing. It's
Take
a good
our survey, bit.ly/UB survey.
Yes, definitely. And we want to thank our chat room, Tensor Guy and Bobby and Monica and Penfold and Angel and all the rest. We love each and every one of you so much. It's amazing. Hearts. So, Anne-Marie, I guess that about does it for this week. Yes. So, until next time, remember to think outside.